So today I'm surprisingly not going to be giving a speech about makeup. Instead, I'm going to tell you as to why I believe that standardized testing needs to be abolished. My proposition is that students should not be accepted or denied into a college that they apply to based off of solely numbers. And I am also going to tell you a little bit about how these tests are not truly as fair as one say that they are. So what I want to change is having to take these tests. A standardized test is a test administered and scored in a consistent or standard manner. Standardized testing is designed in such a way that these questions and the conditions for administering scoring procedures and interpretations are consistent and are administered and scored in a predetermined standard manner. So basically what that means is just these kids are going to be in a room and everything is going to be the same for every single student. And then the government is who is in charge of deciding if this is or isn't allowed, but the people can get involved by constantly pushing and being persistent about removing this from being needed. So my first reason that I believe that it is important for standardized testing to end is because a student is not just a walking number. In my personal experiences with this topic, I have never been a great test taker. I have a 504, and what that means is I have testing anxiety, and so what happens with me is I'll go to take a test, and then I am so worried about how much time I have left and how much I have left of the test. So all of my focus goes to knowing I'm not going to be able to finish the test. And also going into these types of tests, it just makes you even more nervous knowing that these tests have such an impact on where you're going to go with your future. I believe that the schools should get to know the students personally and know activities and services that they have been involved in their life. And in my opinion, that is more important than just what you got on your SAT or ACT. Another thing that is a purpose is that students are emotionally damaged by retention, suffer a loss of interest in school and self-esteem, and are more likely to drop out of school. The most comprehensive national study finds that graduation tests lead to a higher dropout rate for students who relatively achieve lower grades in school. While doing this, they do not produce improved learning for those who stay in school. So you would think the government sees that all of these students are dropping out solely based on these numbers, and you think, why would they want to keep something like this going on? So my second reason is that because standardized testing is just not fair to anyone, non-English speakers have to take these tests in English before they even master the language. Also, special education students have to take the same test as other children, receiving only a few of the accommodations usually provided to them on their IEP. So let's say there's someone who is dyslexic and goes into the test, and when they go to take exams like these, they usually have somebody who reads the test to them. What they're saying is you can't have somebody do this for you. You have to go in and take the test by yourself without having the accommodations you're used to. So that's really not fair, because that automatically lowers what the child would get on their test with the actual needs that they should be having. Also, a big part of preparing for standardized tests is the fact that many students need to have some sort of tutoring going into these. So hiring a tutor can cost at least $125 per session. For people who cannot afford this, it can be impossible for a student to get any sort of tutoring, which puts these students into a disadvantaged group compared to the people who can afford it. So in this graph, it's basically just showing how the student's parents' tax return compared to the grade that they would receive. So if there's a homeless child who has to go and take these tests, and they're with the 0 to 200,000 range, they're already getting about $1,300. But if your parents are like a doctor or something and are well supported, you're already at like a $1,580. That's not fair whatsoever, because why should you go into these tests not being able to have the same advantage that other students have? My last reason as to why I believe that standardized tests need to end is because the tests do not provide any sort of feedback on how to perform better, and they take away valuable class time for what teachers want to teach versus what they are told they have to teach. The results of not getting the results back until months later after the exam was proctored is that the institutions are not providing what the students need to know going in to take another exam, what they need to fix. The higher the stakes, the more schools focus instruction on the test. As a result, what is not tested often is not taught. Whole subjects may be dropped, such as science, social studies, art, PE. Those may be eliminated if only language arts and math are tested. Important topics or skills that cannot be tested with paper and pencil tests, such as writing research papers or conducting laboratory experiments, are not taught. Instruction starts to look like the test. A writer compared test described the following. Reading is reduced to short passages followed by multiple choice questions, a kind of reading that does not exist in the real world. Writing becomes the 5-paragraph essay that is useless except on standardized tests. So personally, I know in my senior year of high school, there was a lot of just read the short article, answer these multiple choice questions, and then we'll go over it. And that's exactly how these tests are formed also. So already you can see how much of an impact that these tests are causing into the classroom. And then another important thing is schools need to be able to have some sort of standard that they have to meet with the testing companies. And so what that means is if a school is not reaching the potential that they should be, the school is going to close down, and then all these students have to go to another school and make new friends and adjust themselves to that, while also worrying about trying to pass these tests to get into the school that they want to be accepted into. So in conclusion, standardized testing, in my opinion, is something that should be abolished. There are more constant pros as to why we should continue to be proctoring exams like these. Not only is it targeted for a specific population of people to do well, but more importantly, it is wasting classroom time that could be used to teach material that is more useful on an everyday basis, to let teachers teach what they want to teach, not to test. So, ending it all, how is it that these tests are considered fair to all when everything that I just provided with you obviously shows the complete opposite?